Hey guys, Coach Slay here, and today on this video that demonstrates the shoulder flexion restriction series, we're going to go through a number of different mobility, soft tissue exercises, as well as flexibility exercises to help improve the range of motion in your shoulders. So shoulder flexion is right here, and so that's kind of what we're working on. Some of you may struggle getting your shoulders, maybe you can only go up to here. So all of these exercises are going to help loosen some of those tight muscles and also strengthen some of the weak muscles that need to be working and activated properly to be able to go into that full range of motion. So the first thing you're going to do is some global mobility on the foam roll. And what you're going to be foam rolling specifically is your lat, which runs all the way down here on your back, all the way up where it attaches to your scapula. And then you're also going to work your teres major, okay, which is another part on your back right around here. All right, so you're simply going to get on a foam roll like so. Cross your arms, keep your core tight, and then you are just going to roll right there on that teres major on one side. Then you can switch to the other side. If you feel a tight spot, keep it there for 30 seconds to 2 minutes. Roll around and try to make sure you get some of those knots out. And then you're also, again, going to get your lat, just like so. All right, so the next soft tissue exercise we're going to do is we are going to work our subscapularis using this J crane here. Now, if you don't have a J crane, I'm going to show another way to do some soft tissue work, but this is going to be your best tool to use for the subscapularis. So the subscapularis is the muscle that runs right under your chest muscle. It attaches in the back of your body and comes all the way across. It's one of your internal rotators for your shoulder, and often is very overactive. So what you're going to do is lay down. I'm going to take the J crane, I'm going to put it right here, kind of in between your armpit, and you're going to try to find a place that's very tight. You're going to try to make sure you're not hitting your chest up here or your lat down here. You want to kind of be right in your armpit, find a tight area, you want to press down on it and then pull across. All right, so the next soft tissue exercise that you're going to do is we're going to work our pec minor with the lacrosse ball, as well as our teres major and our lat that we did on the foam roll with a little bit more focused mobility here. Okay, so we're going to take the lacrosse ball, put it against the wall. I'm going to try to find my pec minor is going to be right here. Okay, so I'm going to put that lacrosse ball right there on the wall. Okay. And what I want to do is, again, find some tight spots and then roll back and forth. And again, if I find a tender spot, I want to keep it there for 30 seconds to 2 minutes. Okay, you can also get your arm up and move it around back and forth. So that will go on and off the muscle and again, work out that tightness. You can always put your arm up, okay, and go out and back. All right, so you're going to do that on both sides of your chest. Then you're going to work those same muscles you did with the foam roll with your lat and your teres major in the back. Okay, so again, foam roll, or excuse me, lacrosse ball right there on that teres major. You want to reach out, find that tight spot, keep it there. For me, this is pretty tight today, as you can see. Another way to activate it is by bringing your arm back like that. Okay, and then you're going to do the same thing with your lat. Now going into more soft tissue extensibility. We've done global mobility with the foam roll, focused mobility with the J-crane and lacrosse ball. Now we're going to try to get some more movement involved. We've loosened up the muscles. Now we're going to try to add some mobility around the joint. Okay, so the next thing is a shoulder restriction series. So this consists of 4 different exercises. The first one, you're going to need a band for the first 2 exercises. So what you're going to do is take this band, you're going to put it over your head, okay, and we're just going to simply pull over and back. Make sure you take deep breaths, breathe through your diaphragm. You can hold it again for about a minute, maybe 2 minutes if you need to. Okay, the wider your arms are, or the wider your hands are, the easier it's going to be. If you want to make it more challenging, okay, you're simply just going to put your hands closer together, just like so. Okay, next one is going to be using the band as well, and we're going to call this the shoulder dislocation. Obviously, we don't want to dislocate your shoulders, but basically, we're going to really get a lot of mobility here. Okay, placing the arms above our head, and I'm going to go back all the way down and then all the way back up. So for me, this is one of my issues. So as you can see, that way back up was very tough. Okay, I'm going to go all the way up and all the way back. Again, hands closer together is going to make it a lot harder. Hands further apart is going to make it easier. Okay, the third exercise in this series is going to simply be a single arm overhead hold on a pull-up bar. Okay, now I put this bar here on the rack as opposed to using the pull-up bar because you do want to make sure that your feet are on the floor. If you can get to the point where your feet aren't on the floor, that's great, but it's very hard to control your body. So I've got the bar right here. I'm simply just going to go into the hang position and really stretch out that shoulder as much as I can. I can always move around, find a spot that's a little bit more restricted. And this is also going to stretch your lat out as well. Okay? You're going to hold that for at least 30 seconds, up to 2 minutes. Again, make sure you do both sides. And then the last one here is going to be a preacher stretch. So I've got a 20-inch box here. You can easily use a bench for this if you need to. What you're going to do is get on get on your knees. You're going to have your elbows on the box. And the further your elbows are away from, like, wider, the easier it's going to be. The closer your elbows are, the harder it's going to be. Okay, so start about shoulder width apart and probably go from there. Okay, but you're going to put these elbows here. Okay, and I'm simply just going to go down into this position. Deep breaths. Holding as long as I can for 30 seconds up to 2 minutes. One key with this one is to make sure that the box is definitely not higher than 20 inches. 20 inches is probably the most you want to be, but it needs to be roughly between 16 to 20 inches. Okay, so the last exercise in the shoulder flexion restriction series is going to be some more mobility where we're trying to, again, strengthen the muscles that are weak, that are not allowing your shoulder to flex all the way up at the top. Okay, one of the major muscles that causes that is your lower trap. So what we're going to do here is activate that lower trap through the reach, roll, and lift exercise. So what you're going to need is just a simple object. Right now I'm using a J-crane. Okay, you're going to put that object in front of you. You're going to be on your knees. You're going to get into a child's pose position, just like so. Okay, and you're going to put this object out, making sure that you keep your bottom down the whole time. What I want to simply do is I'm going to reach with my right arm. So I'm going to reach, 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 and push that object as far as I can. Then I'm going to roll, and then I'm going to lift. Now the major thing you want to make sure when you lift that arm is that your body does not come up like this. Okay? So the main purpose of this lift is we want to activate that lower trap right down in here that's often neglected. That's what we really want to strengthen. So you're going to do 5 to 10 repetitions on each arm to help strengthen that lower trap and improve your mobility in shoulder flexion.